Hi everyone, thank you so much for stopping by. Today I just wanted to take a quick little moment to be able to show you how to make one of these. They're actually pretty simple and easy. It is a headband, but we're using more of a cable stitch. But this one's more simple than the more complex cable stitches, so it's a little more like a waffle pattern. I think it adds a nice fun texture and everything to them, and with the winter months coming up and needing to stay warmer, it's a quick, easy little thing to make, and also makes great stocking stuffers and additional presents for anyone and everyone. So they're super fast and easy to work right up. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have lots of fun making them. And for anyone who is interested, I will have a PDF version of the pattern available for sale in my Etsy shop, and I'll actually have that linked in the video description below. And be sure, if you are not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button and the notification bell next to it so you can get a heads up every time I post a new video. And let me know what you think about the video in the comments section, and I love seeing all your responses. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. For this pattern, we're going to start off. We'll need a couple of supplies. We'll need our scissors. That's for cutting our yarn. We'll need a darning needle, and I am using a 4mm crochet hook, and I'm also using some number 4 weight yarn. I'll actually link in the video description all of the items I use for this, so if you're looking for any, you can go ahead and click on there and purchase. To begin, we want to create a slip knot. Alright, and then to begin, because it is a head ear warmer, we'll want to know about the dimensions around your head. So I have figured out for if it's about 18 inches, we're going to want to chain 72. If you're around 19.5 inches, you want to go ahead and crochet or chain 78. If you're around 21 inches, you're going to want to chain 84. And if it's around 22.5 inches, we want to chain 90. So depending on your width around the head is what you'll want to go ahead and chain. For this one, I'm going to do it with a chain of 84. So go ahead and do your chains. Now that you have all of our chains created, and just as a reminder, this is worked in multiples of 3. So even if you do a different chain count, make sure it is a multiple of 3. Now to join, if we look at our chain, here's normally how we would look at our chain. So we got the front and the back loops. Now what we want to do is work into that back bump that we see if we turn it sideways. So we're going to into that first back bump, making sure we haven't twisted our chain at all. We're going to want to slip stitch into that first back bump in order to join. So now we've created a continual ring without any twists into it. And then what we want to do is chain 2. And then into that same back bump, we want to put 1 double crochet into there. So if you're not familiar with a double crochet, we yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through your first 2 loops, yarn over, and go through your next 2 loops. And we want to repeat that for each of those little back bumps all the way around. So you should end up with the same amount of double crochets made as your chain. All right, now that we're back here at the beginning or at the end of the round, what we're going to want to do is skip over those first 2 chains of the round, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet of the round in order to join. And so here we are with, this would be round 2. And when we did crocheting into the back bumps, what it does is create this nice little ridge along it. So it's a very nice, even finish onto our hat. Now for round 3, what we're going to do is once again chain 2. And now what we're going to do is work what's called a front post double crochet. So we yarn over, and then our first double crochet here, normally we'd go into right here into the stitch, but we're going to actually take our hook and go behind the double crochet stitch and then pull up a loop. So now we have our 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through our first 2 loops, yarn over, and go through our last 2 loops. So what that is, that's a front post double crochet. It's basically taking that front stitch and pushing it outwards. Now for continuing on, we're going to do what's called a back post double crochet. So you yarn over, and then we come into, but that was our front, so we're doing in the back. So we're going to come around the back of that post and pull up a loop. So we have our 3 loops, yarn over, go through your first 2 loops, yarn over, and go through your last 2. And then we simply do that again into the next. So yarn over, come around the post from the back, yarn over and pull up our loop, yarn over, go through your first 2 loops, yarn over and go through your last 2 loops. And then what we're going to do for this round is essentially just keep repeating those 3 stitches. So yarn over, come around the front of the post. So we're coming underneath the post, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, go through your first 2 loops, yarn over, and go through your last 2 loops. Then for stitch, the second stitch, coming around the back, and then the third around the back. And for this whole row, we just want to go ahead and continue alternating that. Do 1 front post double crochet and then 2 back post double crochets. And here we are back at the beginning of our round. and once again we want to slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet that we did of the round. So that would be the top of that front post double crochet, and we just slip stitch in order to join, and there we are. That is round 3. Now for round 4, we're going to begin and chain 2, and then for this we're going to once again do a front post double crochet. So yarn over, go behind the post of that first double crochet, so just behind the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through your first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through your last 2 loops, and then into the next 2 stitches we're just going to do a simple double crochet into each, and then we're just going to repeat this going all the way around. Front post double crochet, and then double crochet into your next 2 stitches. Front post double crochet and double crochet into your next 2 stitches. So if you look, we are doing front post double crochets so that they're still all into the same stitch as getting the front post double crochet, and we're just going to repeat all the way around until we get to the beginning, and then we'll slip stitch into the top of that first front post double crochet of the round in order to join. All right, now we're back at the end of round 4. So we've slip stitched in order to join. Now all we want to do is do a simple repeat of round 3, and we're just going to build up by repeating, going back from round 4 to round 3, and then round 4, and then 3, and round 4. So once again, round 3. So at the beginning of our round, we chain 2. These don't count as a stitch. And then we want to front post double crochet, and then back post double crochet into your next 2. And we just keep repeating this, going all the way around. So a repeat of round 3, and then coming back and repeating with round 4, which was a simple front post double crochet and then 2 double crochets. So round 3 is 1 front post double crochet and then 2 back post double crochets. And then you'll just go ahead and repeat this until you get a nice width onto your headband. Now keep in mind, if you're doing a smaller, so fewer chains, so closer to a child size headband, you definitely don't want to do as many repeats as what you would do for, say, an adult size. But I will be right back as soon as I have my repeats done for my chain of 84. And I will show you how to finish it off. Now here I've completed for this one. This is actually, I've done the repeat, so I have 11 rows. That's if you're not counting the chain row. So I've done 11 rows going all the way up. Now here at the end, we've slip stitched to join. I'm just going to pull my yarn through again. I'm going to leave the tail extra long. I'm going to say roughly about 2 feet, just because it's easier to cut off extra than it is trying to add. Then I'm going to use our darning needle and pull our tail through the darning needle. And then right here where the seam is, yeah, it's pretty well hidden, but I want to try and hide it just a little bit more. So I'm just going to start at the very end of the row, and then I'm just going to bring my darning needle in, and I'm going to weave in and out throughout this, going along the rows where you can see the little bump up and going right through that seam there. And then our final one right into the very end. Then from here, I'm just going to pull it tight. Then with the excess yarn that we have, I'm simply going to wrap around a few times. All right, now that we've gotten it wrapped around a few times, give it kind of like that little bow look. We're going to tie our original tail end to the end of our working end, secure it with a knot, and then simply weave in our ends. And there we are. We have our nice, lovely little head warmer. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a little thumbs up like. And if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button and that little bell notification next to it, and you'll get a heads up every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.